Now let's talk about a couple of maintenance issues with suspended cymbals. Typically, you're not going to have to clean your suspended cymbals the way that you would, for instance, in a marching band where perhaps the shine of the cymbal is important for the look of the ensemble. But if you would like to clean your cymbals, make sure that you're not using any type of abrasive cleaner or brass polish because it can wear down the cymbal and damage it. You can buy cymbal cleaners from any cymbal company and use that to clean your cymbal if necessary. When selecting a stand for your suspended cymbal, there's a number of different options. One option is a gooseneck stand, which is a stand you would use to hang a cymbal that has a strap, such as the kind of strap you would use if you were using a pair of crash cymbals. Maybe more typically, you're going to see this type of stand, which is similar to the type of stand that you would use in a drum set. When you're using this type of stand, make sure that you have all the necessary components. Underneath the cymbal, there's a sleeve and a felt, and on top, a felt and a screw. Now, with the screw, make sure that it's not tightened too tight, because then the cymbal won't resonate the way that it needs to. If it's too loose, then you may have a problem with some vibrations while you're playing that create a buzz that you don't want. Now let's talk about a couple of alternative sounds that you could get out of a suspended cymbal. We're really only going to scratch the surface here because there's so many different sounds that you can get out of this instrument. But let's talk about a couple of the more typical ones. Sometimes you may be asked to play with a brush on the suspended cymbal. So you can use a typical brush like this, but oftentimes you'll find in a band or an orchestra, this isn't going to project the way that you want it to. A better option is something like the dreadlock. You get the same sound, but it projects in a way that a typical brush really won't. Another typical sound that you might be asked to do is a scrape. Two good options for performing a scrape are using a coin or using a triangle beater. You want to be careful when you're doing your scrape that you don't hear the contact of the coin or the triangle beater on the cymbal before you start the scrape. And generally a good way to play a scrape is to start at the bell and scrape towards the outer edge of the cymbal. Another typical sound you might be asked to do is bow the cymbal. When you're bowing the cymbal, you generally are going to want to find some way to keep it steady so that it's not wobbling back and forth while you're trying to bow it. One good way is to just put your fingers on the bell so that you're doing your best not to dampen any of the resonance, and then you bow the edge of the cymbal. This is another percussion technique that you're probably going to have to practice for a few minutes before your first rehearsal or concert because it's a little bit different than anything else that we do, but it's a really cool sound. The suspended cymbal is great because there's so many different sound options available. You want to make sure that you've got all these different options, so different sizes of cymbals and all the different beaters and other implements at your disposal to make all the different sounds that a composer might ask for. As with any other percussion instrument, you want to make sure that you're making great sounds. So you want to be sure to listen to the sounds that you're making. So just make sure that you're playing the best sound for the instrument and the best sound for the music at all times.